Hey guys, Craig here, Fergie time. This is episode 9, and it's pretty exciting. I have Wu on from Jedco. Jedco is a brand I'm sure you guys have all seen. They make the official Jeep stuff, and they also have official Bronco stuff, and even Willie Nelson. So I'm excited to see what he has to say, and he might even do a launch of a different product. So excited, watch, like, subscribe, all that great stuff. Hey guys, Craig, Fergie time here, and this is episode 9. 9 times people have sat down and chatted with me about all cool things in the cool off-road world, and today I'm excited. I have my man Wu here. He's the e-com director for Jedco, and I'm rocking my Jedco, my Colorado. I can't really see it. My Colorado
nice.
tee. And us Jeepers, we wear anything with the word Jeep on it. It's just the way it is. Thanks for joining us, and dude, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into Jeeping and that sort of thing. I see you're sitting in the best backdrop, which is your Jeep.
There you go. Yeah, man. This is my 2017 JKU, actually, 4-door, because I'm a family man. Yeah, I mean, really, I got into Jeeping very young. You know, one of my friend's dads was in law enforcement, and he had a Jeep. He would wake us up early and pack us up and take us out to Pennsylvania and go do some wheeling. Honestly, I thought it was one of the craziest things I've seen in my life as a young 14-year-old, watching grown adults scale massive mountains and break U-joints and, just scratch up there. And it was like, or Jeeps, I was just like, man, is this real? Like, adults do this? And I was hooked ever since. You know?
So where in Pennsylvania? I grew up in Pennsylvania.
Oh, Roush Creek, the
okay.
little wheeling around there.
That.
Yeah, early memories of Jeeps and movies, and Charlie Sheen going across the bridge in Navy SEALs, and they're having some discussion, and then he's just like, "Yeah, guys, I can't be part of this. I'm out," and jumps right out of the back of the Jeep, and I was just like, "Man, that's one of the coolest things I've ever seen." Dangerous, kids don't try that at home, but it was a cool scene.
So you work at Jedco, which makes cool Jeep apparel, other merchandise. What's your role there? How did you end up there?
I'm traditionally trained as an artist. I went to school for art school, drawing, painting, and graphic design. As a career path, I was an art director. And about 3.5, 4 years ago, Jedco was expanding. We're only about right under 3.5 years old, 4 years old. We're turning 4 coming up in June. And they had
Jedco's only been around 4 years?
Only 4 years as a brand.
Forever.
That's a good household name. So, I mean, our company in its entirety has been around for 30 years. But Jedco as a brand has been around for 4 years. And that was conceived when we got the Jeep license. So Jedco is an officially licensed apparel company, and we got the Jeep license. And when we got the Jeep license, it really stood true to who we were as a company. So we're outdoor adventurer. Adding Jeep as a license fit into right to our wheelhouse of who we are as a brand. Our artists are Jeepers. They're outdoor enthusiasts. They're campers. I had a Jeep. So like I said, when I saw that they were hiring, I was like, man, this is a great opportunity to marry my passion and my career path. I jumped at the opportunity, applied, and they really liked what I had to offer. Initially, I was hired to come on and help as a social media coordinator and help with some email campaigns. And then from there, kind of worked my way up the ladder, and now I'm the director of e-com.
So what's the coolest thing about working there?
I mean, for everybody, I think it would be different. For me, I think the coolest thing about working there, or working at Jedco, honestly, is coming up with all the concepts and the ideas for Jeep designs or designs in general.
Do you have a part in that? Do you have a part in the? Nice.
I mean, honestly, there could be a fly on the wall listening to our product development meetings about, things that we're like, all right, well, what can we do? Like, we have a few core brand pillars, I would call them. like Jeeps and dogs. Like we incorporate dogs, one, because we love dogs, and we incorporate them a lot in our designs. We have Jeep Beach as a category. We have Jeep USA. I mean, they go together like peanut butter and jelly. So with these categories, we kind of think, okay, so what else can we do? And
you can do a Mastiff. Get a Mastiff in there.
A Mastiff, yes. That's one of the requests we get so much is, hey, can you guys put a Labradoodle into your designs? And
no,
we want to put all the dogs into the designs, and we're finding ways to incorporate more and more. In our off-road trip, we have a design with 4 dogs in the back. And usually we're doing some Labs or Goldens or Germans. Here we put more dogs in there so we can incorporate more breeds into our designs, which is so good.
I love it.
Yes, Mastiff on the list.
Good.
Sitting in those meetings, coming up with the ideas. And I think one of the more cool ideas, I would say, that we came up with recently is we started a Jeep Easter egg line. We started hiding the Easter eggs in our designs of our t-shirts. So traditional real Easter eggs. So we have one with the Sasquatch in it. We have one with the flip-flops in it. The flip-flops, if people don't know, were the first Jeep Easter egg, originally hidden in the cowl of the Jeep. But the flip-flops represent an old writer, like an off-road writer that used to wear flip-flops all the time. And this was Jeep's way of paying homage to this guy. I want to say his name is Rick something, or working for a company that sells officially licensed Jeep apparel. Like, it's Jeep all the time for me and research, so I get to research some of the coolest things. Like, what does the Sasquatch Easter egg mean? What does the Morse code Easter egg mean, And it's just really fun to understand that stuff.
The Bigfoot one, I have the Bigfoot shirt. I'm not wearing it now, but for the longest time, and I don't remember what it says, I'm sure you'll tell me, but it had a word in his beard or something that said go explore, do something, and I posted the picture and someone told me on Instagram, oh, it says blah blah blah, and I'm like, no freaking way. I didn't know. That was cool though. That's cool.
That t-shirt is called, or Sasquatch Explorer, excuse me, and the beard text reads Explore Nature. You might not have noticed this as well. If you look closely in the sunglasses, there's a Sasquatch Easter egg hidden in the sunglasses on one side, and on the other side, there's a Jeep Wrangler in the sunglasses. And some of the other ones we have the Tyrannosaurus Rex head Easter egg in our USA Rocks t-shirt. So, what we're trying to do is we're trying to incorporate, real Jeep lore into our t-shirts. How can we make, this t-shirt as authentic as possible? Here's an interesting fact. I love telling this story about our Jeep Sasquatch t-shirt. We got quite a few in our Sasquatch collection, but our Jeep Sasquatch, our first Jeep Sasquatch t-shirt, the Sasquatch is riding in a Jeep, giving the peace sign, like the Jeep wave. But one of the real interesting things about that Jeep, and this is to the level of detail that we go with in our designs, the Sasquatch is actually driving an LJ. Well, if you don't know what the LJ is a long Jeep. Long Jeeps were only around for a couple years, I think in the early 90s, 93-ish, I think, 93, 95. They were only around for 2 years. So just as rare as it is to see a Sasquatch in the woods, it's just as rare to see that LJ on the road. Every design that we create, we work with Jeep and have them approved. So we come up with ideas, the concepts, we send them to Jeep to be approved. Sometimes they're a little more analytical than others about the anatomy of the Jeep. So we got to make sure our bodies are right. How many slots does the Jeep have? 7.
Well, 7.
Got to have your 7 slots, right? Like you can't have 8 slots. Yeah. So, those types of things. But I mean, in the end, we end up with really creative products that you're not going to find anywhere else. They're officially licensed. They're made by us and their ideas, but we work with Jeep to create them. In my view, having something from the company that I love, made by the company I love, is a big deal.
So you sit in a room, you talk about these ideas, and then you come up with, 4 or 5 banger ideas. And then what? Are the artists in there with you?
Yeah.
So they'll come up?
So we'll say in a room or on a Zoom, we get together and we do a good job of communicating, and we use technology to make sure that we're sharing ideas. We have mood boards where anybody gets an idea, we can just drop ideas in there. But yeah, I mean, we kind of get in there and talk Jeep, what'd you do this weekend? Oh, I went out to go topless day and we did, I saw some really cool 45 or Jeeps on 45s, or I saw this one guy who had the greatest license plate ever. He has a Jeep. It's named Lemoncello. It's the yellow high-vis Jeep. His license plate says Duck U, like DUCKYOU, and it is phenomenal.
My whole family is big into Jeeps. My son, my daughter, she's got a Jedco Willie Nelson shirt. How are you guys making Willie Nelson stuff? Like that's cool.
So yeah, as I mentioned, we've been around for 4 years and we are continually growing. We cut our teeth on Jeep, and that was our first license partner. So we have the Jeep license, we have our Jedco house line, and then one of the next licensed apparel people that we started working with was Willie Nelson, another great iconic American brand. And like that kind of came about as we're growing, we're looking to expand, but expand within our brand and trying to find other products that we think, our current customer base would like. Country music is one of our passions of our founder and one of our passions of the people who work at our company. And in some senses,
there was another Jeep song guy that you guys work with besides Willie Nelson.
Oh, Jeremy Rowe.
He wrote a Jeep song.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jeremy Rowe is fantastic. His music is great. He does a lot more than Jeep, but he's based in Oklahoma. He has Jeep Thang, not to be mistaken with Jeep Thang, THANG, and then he also has Jeep Girl. 2 fantastic songs. We've collabed with him quite a few times, and honestly, the more that I'm in the Jeep community and the more that we keep growing and growing, I think that's, like I said, that's one of the things that constantly amazes me and I'm in awe of every time is the creativity of people, of Jeepers, but also like I love working with our brand ambassadors. Like, I love working with you, and every time we give you a product to promote, I'm like, what's he going to do with it next? Like, I love seeing how you guys create and how you bring the brand to life, because, we're putting the products out there. It's really the users and the consumers that bring the products to life. That's the most joy that I get out of my job. Is like, oh, this is how I envisioned it. This is how people are using it. It's fantastic. I mean, even with the Willie designs, some of the extent of the research that goes into a couple of our designs feature his guitar trigger with all the holes and everything in it, and we're looking to add more artists right now. Like I can't say who, but I will tell you that we're bringing on more country music artists in the future. We also have Ford, Chevy, Ram, Bronco, and another brand that we have that's been doing very well for us is Busch Light.
What's the most memorable adventure you've had in your Jeep?
There's a lot of family, like I think in some senses too, Jeeps bring people together, brings families out, going places with my kids. We have this tradition where we do Jeep picnics, where I'll open up the tailgate and then they can sit in the back and they can have a snack or, eat some food, and they're covered and, out of the sun. So like those memories for me are really, really special. Probably like I would say the first time I went wheeling and I saw a guy blow a U-joint. Like we're sitting there at the bottom of the hill watching this guy scale like almost a completely vertical incline, and he just dropped that U-joint, and I was just like, oh my God, what was that? I think the things that I enjoy most about like the Jeep experience is the camaraderie of the community. Going out wheeling, I love doing that, but I also love, the evenings after, camping, hanging out with friends, making memories, and the wheeling is definitely something to do, but being with the community and your friends and your family is really what I think what draws me most to the lifestyle.
When you're with all your Jeep friends or your Jedco buddies, do you ever talk about Jeep stereotype? Which do you think are true? Or
I try not to get into too much, but what I do see is like the common issues that all Jeepers go through. The indoctrination into the Jeep wave. How do you wave? When do you know when to wave? Who waves first? And then you hear a whole bunch of different theories. And then like why did the Jeep wave exist? Was the Jeep wave for soldiers to salute other soldiers? Was it, just to show?
Isn't that what it was? The whole V for victory, or that's what I had heard.
There's a lot of theories. There's nothing that's official. I like the story of the waves. I have a saying. It's because of the brave we Jeep wave. Going back to the history, and one of the things that attracts me most about Jeep, honestly, is the history and the lore. And this was a vehicle that was created out of necessity, and it has a utilitarian purpose. And, from there, it was such a good idea and such a good concept. When the veterans came back, they wanted to be driving these vehicles. Then they started mass producing them. I just think it's incredible about how 3 separate companies, right? Willys, Ford, and Bantam came together to create the Jeep. That's one of the things that really attracts me to Jeep. I think the other one is they're like toys for big kids, the module nature of them where you can take things apart, put things together, snap them off, it breaks, scratches.
So what about ducks then?
It's only been around for about 4 years. There was a lady by the name of Alice in Parliament who was credited for creating the Duck Jeep, and she's the owner, and she is the president of the Duck Jeep.
Credited or blames? I'm just kidding.
We'll say credited. So as the story goes, I think she was on her way to Canada and she saw a Jeep at a gas station and she had a duck and she wrote a note and like nice Jeep or something and put it on this guy's Jeep, and he caught her putting it on there. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing around my Jeep?" And she was like, "Oh no, I just really like it." And then the guy, was so moved by her story and by her act of generosity that he shared it on social media. From there, it kind of took off and gained a life of its own.
So what advice would you give to someone just starting out with their first Jeep?
Oh, I mean, I guess me working for an apparel company or a Jeep apparel company, my first piece of advice would be go out and get yourself a Jedco Jeep t-shirt. But other than that, there you go. Other than that, I mean, the first mod that I did on my Jeep, honestly, I replaced the antenna. So I think the mods that people do, and the first thing that they can do for their Jeep is really specific and individual. If you want to keep it stock and don't do anything. If you're like, man, I need some grab handles because, my wife drives aggressively, get some grab handles, but, like I said, if you want to get it lifted and that's been one of your dreams, go ahead and do that. But really it's an individual choice and you don't have to do anything but do what makes you happy.
I heard you might have an exclusive for me.
Yeah, man. World premiere. We're announcing a new product on your show. So we're coming out with this Jeep Duck coffee mug. It's our Money Duck design. This should be available in August, but there's a little surprise. We have an Easter egg in this mug as well. So as you look inside, you can find there's a ceramic mold of a little duck chilling at the bottom. So like I said, we're artists. We love creating. I think the thing that separates our apparel from everyone else's on the market is our concepts. Like the things that we create. We had a custom mold created just for this product. We worked with the factory to create the mold and create, the concept and the ideas, work tirelessly on getting it just right. And we get to bring these products to market, made by Jeepers for Jeepers. And if you guys have any ideas for new products or anything you want to see, feel free to shoot us a DM on social media. I have Fergie's suggestion for a Mastiff in some of our designs, so keep them coming. We always want to hear what you have to say and want to produce products that you guys love.
Fun rapid fire questions for you, and I know you don't have these, so these are going to be off the cuff and just first thing that comes to mind. You ready?
Sweet.
Books or movies?
Movies.
Camping or hotel?
Oh, camping, hands down. Yeah, you gotta live in nature.
Would you rather have a pet dinosaur or a pet dragon?
I think I'd have to go the dragon. Breathing fire and flying.
If you could switch lives with any fictional character, who would it be?
It would probably be a combination of Dom Draper or James Bond.
All-time favorite movie or TV show?
I really, really enjoyed the TV show Seinfeld. I just thought it was a great comedy, made me laugh all the time. It was something that was appointment television for me. So when there was appointment television, so I would probably say that was my favorite comedy. I could also go The Wire. If you've never seen The Wire by David Simon, pick a movie that I would go back and watch time and time again. The Big Lebowski.
Most memorable concert or live performance you've attended?
The most memorable concert I've been to recently is it was a festival in Ocean City, Maryland. It's called the Ocean's Calling Festival. The memories of sitting on the beach, watching live music. Last year, Jack Johnson was one of the headliners. Noah Kahn was there, and he was a new artist that I found out about. 3-day lineup of back-to-back, awesome acts.
So I'm curious on this one. So last question is, if your life had a theme song, what song would it be?
I really like I might take it back to some old school Tribe Called Quest. Can I Kick It? I think that one is a really good song that's bumping all the time for me.
I like it. Well, awesome, dude. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. It was fun, and I'm excited to see where Jedco goes from here.
Awesome. Yeah. Appreciate you having me. Thank you. Fun. Always good catching up with you, and can't wait to see the content you create for us in the future.
That was fun. And Jedco is a great brand, and I love working with, check them out. If there's anybody else that you would like us to talk to, bring on the show, just let us know, and we'll do that. So, thanks, guys. Like, subscribe, all that awesome stuff. Appreciate it.